someone whom you want to call doesn't call or didn't call, and you are obsessing about that in the long
Maybe
run.
he died. Sorry. Where this thought is coming from, and is it loving to myself to feel, to think about it?
Let's do like more of a practical podcast.
So whatever dominating thoughts you have, reality will be in resonance with that.
That must feel so good when you don't have any bad thoughts.
But of course it was a journey, and I just shared the tools of what helped me, right? Like it started from small things like that.
So that can be even a benefit for you that like he disconnected from
If
that.
you're genuinely interested in rewiring your brain and having more pleasant thoughts, just do this little thing.
Hi everyone, my name is Lily Boiko.
And Mira Uniat.
And it's our eternally fantastic podcast. And today we want to talk about how to program or control, or you say how it should sound better, your thoughts. Meaning in our previous episodes, we a lot of times actually told that it's our thoughts that produce our state of being, mind, and you have to be aware of your thoughts. And then if it comes from low frequencies such as fear, for example, then you have to understand it, catch this thought, and understand if it's something that improves your state, and if not, you just get rid of this thought. So
you can't, by the way, just get rid of it. You can become aware of it.
Okay.
Like the training here is to become aware of your thoughts without resisting to your thoughts, because whatever you resist will persist. Whatever you want to control more will push back. It will keep coming back until you don't respond to it.
Okay, so let's do like more of a practical podcast. How to when you catch a thought which is destructive, for example, I don't know, like for example, you went through an interview and you're afraid that you won't get in, and you're thinking about it, that they should call, but they don't call back, or something like that. So how to understand where is it coming from and what to do next to reprogram yourself?
Yeah, like it's if it's just an interview, it's easy. But if we talk about divorce, or we talk about thoughts about, your, let's say you like someone and that person is not texting you back or whatever, like it's different type of thoughts, but all of them come from fundamental frequency of fear. Right? So now I don't even pay attention to my thoughts. Well, sometimes I just get so in love with my movie in my head that I love watching it. Or it's just blank, it's thoughtless state. I either have the movie in my head that I enjoy, that's how much I cleaned it up.
Yeah, so how to get there?
So it's to get there, you need to start being, first and foremost, you need to start learning the existing content of your mind. Once the same shitty thought, if it comes to you so often and you get so tired of it that you I want to really, really transform it into something else. So you need to start doing and responding differently
to this thought.
To this thought, exactly. Majority of people, when they wake up, the first thing they do, they take their phone in their hands. And it brings them into the same state of being they were the night before. Anxiety, they think about the problems that they have, the shitty boss they have at work, then their ex texts them, then something came up with their parents. Like, it's just they dwell in the same frequency because they're doing the same thing. Just one little difference that you can make in the morning is to meditate. Like, you wake up every morning and instead of taking your phone, that's what you've been doing for a long time, you just sit still. And without acting on every thought that you have, you just observe it. You become familiar. That's what meditation is. Become familiar what it is there. So you learn the existing content of your mind without acting on it. Because, for example, majority of people, they unconsciously just following their thoughts. They identified with their thoughts. The first thing they do in the morning, they go into their kitchen and they drink their coffee. But it all was preceded. The first thing was the thought, I want to drink coffee. It was the thought. The thought made this physical vessel move into the kitchen and do the action of moving to the kitchen and making a coffee. So the action now, this memory of your body for this action is wired to the thought that you want to have a coffee. That's the present wiring. By the way, I'm actually explaining it in very detailed way right now so that you understand. Because you can start from simple things like that. If you conquer yourself in little things like that, it can start very fundamental changes. So, and let's say next day, you just choose a different reaction to the same thought. Mm-hmm. So you have a thought of having coffee because that's what your body now, on all levels, on your physical level, on your mental level, that's a habit, that's a pattern that you have. And then you start acting differently. You have the thought about having your coffee, you catch it. Before acting on it, you become aware of it. Mm-hmm. And you talk to yourself, Lily, I'm going to give myself right now 10 minutes to sit down and observe the thought without acting on it. You're not going to die in these 10 minutes without coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
It's just an example.
Yeah.
Right?
But I take the phone. I used to take. Now I'm trying to do what you're talking about. The phone, the minutes I get up to look time, and then I get into it.
Yes. Well, I'm bringing an example of coffee because I start seeing that a lot of people are addicted to coffee. Mm-hmm. They can't even have a happy, vibrant day without coffee, unfortunately. So now your response is that in those moments and minutes where your body is now used and accustomed to go to the kitchen and make the coffee, and then your taste receptors are used for these chemicals of the coffee, like it's wired on so many different levels. So you are now breaking that pattern. So you have the same thought, but the response is that you are sitting for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And if you do that for a certain period of time, it will start the rewiring process. It's just a process. It doesn't happen overnight. That's why one-off meditation will never work. It's a journey. You have, in order to change your existing state of being, you need to start giving a different response to existing thoughts. Mm-hmm. To start giving a different response, you really need to identify which thoughts you are not enjoying. So, for example, if you're not enjoying this thought, now the new response for you would be, instead of using your defense mechanism and go work out or go, get attention validation from society, go party, right? So it's a lot of people are doing. Those are defense mechanisms. And I had those defense mechanisms before my awakening. I was a social butterfly, but when I came home, there was still a lot of pain within me. And I wasn't comfortable of being by myself. Like I always needed external validation. That was my defense mechanism at that time. So everybody has those defense, or go into the gym. So actually my defense mechanisms are not too bad comparing some like people that get addicted to drugs or alcohol or smoking. Okay, I won't call them bad because now there is nothing bad or good. It's just a judgment. It's how we perceive it. But I mean, we know it's not good for our body. Like we all know that our body is just not healthy when we do that, right? So that's how the judgment that is good or bad. But maybe an unhealthy body will have a profound impact on the spirit, and the spirit will liberate it. We don't know. We're all on a unique journey, right? So that's why right now I don't even judge what's good or bad, right? But if you're genuinely interested in rewiring your brain and having more pleasant thoughts, just do this little thing. Catch yourself on the thoughts that you don't enjoy and change your response to it. And every altered and changed response, it's already a victory. And if you do it for a certain period of time, you respond differently. And by the way, the most powerful way to respond would be through stillness. The most troubling thoughts that we have, if we respond with stillness, we are starting a fundamental change in our system.
Let's take an example. For example, that someone whom you want to call doesn't call or didn't call, and you're obsessing about that. So you understand that it comes from fear, and how to respond with stillness.
So let's say you catch yourself on that thought, and then the first question, I told you the method. The first question you ask, instead of texting that person and say why you didn't text me or why you didn't call me, because with that action you are multiplying the frequency you're in. It's as if you are blaming the external circumstance on the way you feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I want people to become conscious of what they feel and what they think.
Mm-hmm.
So not being reactive, but turning attention inward. Why am I feeling this? Where is this thought is coming from, and is it loving to myself to think about it? Because I can't control 9 billion people on earth. And why do I even want to control them? Where is the desire to control is coming from? And it's coming from resistance to the beauty of a present moment. Because you haven't found the beauty of the present moment. You haven't found that bliss that you can feel when you are by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Unpleasant thoughts come from a full resistance with where you are right now and your inability to see the beauty of the present moment. And until you arrive with that full acceptance of the way things are, just like the same way you wake up and it's raining, and you're not in resistance, that's okay. I mean, you can't change it. So you have to learn to arrive to that same state of understanding that you can't change the fact that somebody didn't text you. It's just the same thing as the sun rises in the east and the sunset is on the west. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is nonsensical that human beings think that they can control everything. And the more they want to control, the more situations they will be inviting into their life to show that there is no even beauty in control. You're not even enjoying when you can control everything. It's exhausting. So the desire to control, it's actually something that exhausts your inner resources to find the beauty in where you are. And how can you create beauty from not feeling beauty in this present moment? We only attract who we are right now. You can't create happiness from an unhappy state of being. You can't create love if you don't have love within yourself. You can't attract it. Like, it's the law of resonance, right? The law of resonance really explains the law of creating reality. And the more resistant thoughts you have, the more situations you will create, the more people you will be attracting who never actually text you. Just for you to understand that, it's time for you to come into full acceptance in the fact that you can't control anyone and anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can express who you are as a being right now. You can express the love that you are, the joy that you are when you are with those people, right? And if they don't mirror it back, if they don't mirror the same level of interest that you have in those people, if they don't mirror it back, then it's time to let them go. Really, there is nothing wrong with them. And there is nothing wrong with you. It's just the path at that moment got split. Maybe at some point it will reconnect. Maybe it won't. Who knows? And that's the beauty of life. I live with the excitement and curiosity of what the future holds. And every time when I say bye to someone, it's as if I say bye forever. I always say it with love, because I want them to remember me that way, even if we never see each other again. So in my experience, if somebody doesn't text me when I expect, somebody doesn't behave the way I want them to behave, first and foremost, I call myself out and ask myself, why do I want them to text me? What is the feeling that I have right now within myself that is looking for that validation, compensation, and whatever? What is it that I'm looking to avoid within myself? Like, what is it, Mira, that you are avoiding right now? Your attention, you want the attention to be directed on somebody's text. Why? Instead of directing your attention on what you feel right now and why you want a text from someone. So that's why I rarely text anyone first. It's not because I don't have any ego. I just see the beauty of the present moment. And if people don't text me, it means they are not ready for my energy, because I am eternally fantastic and not people are. So my eternally fantastic energy might be irritating for some people. Because if they are grouchy or angry or they watched too much news, they can't resonate with my eternally fantastic frequency. And I give them space. That's why right now I am in that stage where I don't even text first. People who are ready for my frequency will find me. And I don't text them first because I see the beauty of a present moment in my reality. And the thoughts that I have, the flow of thoughts, is always pleasant. So there is no need for me to control or improve anything. It's already perfect. But of course it was a journey, and I just shared the tools of what helped me, right? Like, it started from small things like that. And when I was in communication with that man who was a catalyst for my awakening, right? That connection trained me, because that man was not predictable. He was unpredictable. And he rarely texted me when I expected. And he trained me to be patient. Actually, I trained myself, but in that connection, I learned to not depend on his text, and not to depend on attention from him, right? Because he was always busy with stuff, right? And that was also the part that attracted me. So then I called myself out, like, Mira, you are attracted to a man who is busy with career, making money. Like, you don't want somebody who you want to provide for. So you actually wanted to be with someone successful. But the type of what he calls success requires a lot of busyness. Mm-hmm. So he's not texting you because you wanted that for quality to have, for him to be there. And now you are kind of not happy that he's not texting you all the time. So it just, if he's busy with his business or his work, he can't simultaneously text me. And I arrived to that point where I know that he will text me when he is ready. And I will not annoy him why you didn't text me yesterday or the day before yesterday. And I know that when he is ready for my energy, he will send me something nice and deep and thought-provoking. which, he sent me a lot of thought-provoking things. So I think relationships really are the tool, like I said, for us to know ourselves and to call ourselves out on certain things and train patience. And in this connection, I did this, work. And the tools that helped me is to rewire my brain in terms of perceiving myself, how I react if something doesn't go the way I expect. And I initially, of course, it started from being angry, but I ended, like right now where I am, I'm okay if nobody texts me.
Mm-hmm. So now you don't have any expectations?
No expectations. No expectations whatsoever. I know where I'm going. Actually, I know where my physical and mental self are going. But my, how you call it, like awareness, level of consciousness, individualized consciousness, so soul, I'm already there. It's like the only thing left is for my body and mind to follow. So I'm just observing the flow of how they are getting where I am already. I am more identified with my soul right now rather than my physical and mental selves. Mm-hmm. And the soul, what I call soul, is actually the passion that I have for life, like what I'm here for. I'm already there. I'm living it full time.
And actually, you never know that if he doesn't text, for example, if that's a good or if that's a bad or good thing. Maybe in a long
maybe
run.
He died. Sorry.
No, I mean, like
maybe, like, you never know what's happening there. Maybe he's just busy thinking of you. And that's the only reason he's not texting you. Like, I used to like to play with my mind. Now, like, I don't even have those thoughts, but I used to like to play with my mind like that. When I start seeing the thought that I don't enjoy, first question that I ask, is it loving to myself to have that thought right now? And second was, am I really 100% sure that the reason he's not texting me is because something's wrong with me? And why do I want to control how often he texts? It will become very boring. Relationship will become a transaction. If everything happens according to what you expect and plan, it's a machine. It's like a robotics. Relationship is a constant flow of energy, which means a lot of unpredicted things happen and reactions and situations. The question is, how are you managing your response? What responses are you providing to those external stimuli?
Yeah, but I meant that if with a man he doesn't text, for example, that might be even a good thing for you in a long run, that if the relationship didn't work out or this connection, then maybe you meet someone else who would be better for you. So that can be even a benefit for you, that like he disconnected, for example.
Bravo. Bravo, because you didn't share something like this when we start working together, when we start sharing our perceptions on life, right? Yeah. Now I start feeling like you are already at that level of embracing what it is and seeing that the beauty in anything that we go through, whether it's divorce or whatever, right? You start seeing the beautiful side more, not only the negative, what will happen to me, or, you start seeing both. That's already huge progress. Because at some point there will be more beautiful than not beautiful. Like your mind at some point will evolve to the level where you will only see the beauty in anything.
That must feel so good when you don't have any bad thoughts at all. Like everything that you think of is just the way you want it to be. Yes. And then it manifests in life.
100%. I know that for me, it took 2 years to clean up my mess. And then only in the last year, I started really enjoying my thoughts full time.
Okay, so it's not that fast as I thought.
For me it wasn't, but maybe for you it will be faster. You don't have to follow my steps. Maybe because you have someone like me who shares it, because I did it all myself. All I know is it's a journey. It's a journey. But I also know that right now I am on a stage in my life where I am manifesting the reality I want, because I'm very conscious of my thoughts. And every thought that you have is actually an electric signal that you send out into a quantum field. And then your reality around yourself, material and physical, arranges itself around your dominant signals. So whatever dominating thoughts you have, reality will be in resonance with that. That's why inner work is so important, because you clean up all the mess and you only send out beautiful signals, then your reality will be beautiful. So of course, as a result, you will be in love with life and you will be eternally fantastic.
Right. Okay, thank you, Mira, for sharing. And I hope it was useful not only for me, but for everyone who is watching that. Thank you for your comments, and we appreciate you leaving them. Please also leave your questions that you want us to answer in our next episodes, and leave thumbs up, subscribe, and follow us on other platforms that are Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and maybe that's it. So basically everywhere, you can find us everywhere. And
you can find me everywhere.
And see you in the next podcast.
Much love and peace and joy for all of you.